Hello and welcome everyone to ifactner.com's 25 job interview questions and tips to answer them video tutorial. In this video tutorial, we will discuss top 25 job interview questions and I will give you tips to answer them in the right way. Let's start. The first question which an interviewer may ask you is, can you tell us about yourself? To answer this question correctly, you should give a brief family background. You should tell them about your qualifications and you should tell about your past relevant experience. But be precise and brief. You should be able to give an answer to this question in 8 to 10 sentences. The second question which an interviewer may ask you is, how did you hear about this position? So be honest in replying. If you have found about this position in a newspaper, then give the right information that I saw an ad in ABC newspaper dated 25 December 2016, or I saw this ad on your website, or if a friend has told you, and if you think that giving his or her reference will help you, then you can give the reference of your friend or anybody who has told you about the job. So you have to tell them about the source from which you heard about the job. Another question is, what do you know about the company? To answer this question, you have to be prepared. So whenever you go for a job interview, always visit the website of the company, find out about their services, their products, the industry in which they work, their vision and mission statements, and find out a little about the financial status of the company. So you should at least know something about the company, so you will be able to answer, what do you know about this company? Always try to incorporate either a vision or a mission statement in your answer, because it will show them that you know what they are standing for. Another question is, why do you want to get this job? Or why do you want to join us? Or another version is, why do you want this job? At first, it seems a little arrogant to ask this question, but if you answer this question properly, then you will be able to stand a good chance to get the job. To answer this question correctly, you should know the job description. So always try to find out about the job description, who was doing this job before you, and how do they perform this kind of a job in their company. So if you know about the job description, then you will be able to show them and tell them that you are a perfect fit for the job based on your past relevant experience, your qualifications, and your qualities and strengths. So try to find out about the job description, and then based on these things tell them that you are the best candidate to do this job. Another question is, why should we hire you? This question is closely related to this question number 4, and again, to answer this question you need to know about the job description, and you should also know something about the company, which you have already done for question number 3. So once you know that job description and company, then you have to tell them that you are the perfect fit. This is the opportunity to sell yourself, to sell your skills. And if you sell yourself right, then they will shortlist you. You have to tell them that whatever their needs are, and you find out about the needs based on this job description, you satisfy those needs. Because whenever we buy a product or a service, we buy it to satisfy some kind of a need or needs. Similarly, when a company is hiring someone or people, then it wants to satisfy some of the needs. It wants them to work, and you have to tell them that you are the perfect fit and you will be able to satisfy all of the needs and the job requirements. Another question is, what are your top 3 strengths, or what are your most important professional strengths? So again, to answer this question correctly, you need to know about the job description and about the company and their operations. And then based on that job description, whatever the requirements of the job, you should be able to tell those strengths which are closely related to that job description. So if it's a sales job and it requires to meet with people, then, and if you are an extrovert person, then you can say that I am an extrovert person. I like to work with people and I like to sell things. And you can give 1 or 2 sentences description to answer this question, and by telling your strengths you will stand a better chance to land on the job. Another question is, what are your 3 weaknesses? So it's, what are your 3 weaknesses? We are all human, and we have got our strengths and we have got our weaknesses. An interviewer does not want to hear that I don't have any weakness, that I am a perfect person. He wants to know about your weaknesses. Try to tell your weaknesses in a manner that you had those weaknesses in the past and you have overcome those weaknesses, or you are trying to overcome those weaknesses. For example, you can tell them or tell him or her that you were afraid of public speaking. While in the college, you were not able to utter a single word in your first presentation, but you have been trying very hard, you have been training yourself, and now you find it okay to speak in public. So you have to tell your weakness in such a way that it becomes your strength. Or you can tell them those kind of weaknesses which may be considered a weakness for another kind of a job, but it is considered as a strength for this job. For example, if you are applying for a sales job, then you can tell them that you cannot sit on the table for more than half an hour. You have to meet with people. So if it's a field job, then it becomes your strength. Another question is, tell us about your top achievements. So if you have been in a profession, then you have to tell them about your professional achievements. If you can present some solid figures, then do it. For example, I raised the sale in region ABC by 20%, and during my tenure it was up to $2 million. But if you are a fresher, then you should focus on your academic achievements. Another question is, did you face a challenge in your last job? So tell them about the challenges you faced in your last job and tell them how did you handle them. So an interviewer wants to know about your challenge solving skills or problem solving skills. So tell them about the challenges and how were you able to handle them and turn those problems or challenges into opportunities. Another question is, where do you see yourself in 3 years or 5 years? Again, to answer this question, you should know about the job description and the company. Job description and company. So if you know that, and you should also know the hierarchy in the department for which you are applying. So if you know that if you are applying for a sales officer job and the next level is assistant sales or say senior sales officer, then comes assistant sales manager, and then come the regional sales manager, and then the GM, you can say that I want to be the assistant sales manager in 5 years. Based on these things, the knowledge of these things, you will be able to answer this question correctly. So you have to associate your career path in the company. So they want to see that if they are investing in you and if they are hiring you, will you stay with them for 5 years? Because usually for the first 2 or 3 years, the company is investing more on you, and after that you become an asset. So they want to see if you will stay in the company. Another question is, what's your dream job? Again, to answer this question, you should know the job description, the hierarchy in the department, and you should know about the company. And if you think that the highest level of job in that company related to your career path is GM sales, then you can say that my dream job is to become GM sales of an internationally renowned company. And I believe that if I work harder and with dedication, one day I will become GM sales in this organization, and that's my dream job. So you should know about these things to answer this question. Another question is, what kind of other jobs are you applying for? an interviewer or a team of interviewers want to know if you are focused and if you are the right candidate for the job. So try to tell them about the relevant jobs for which you are applying. If you are applying for all kinds of jobs, then it shows that you are not a focused person and you do not know where you want to go. So try to identify the relevant jobs for which you have applied or want to apply and tell them about those jobs. Another question is, why do you want to leave your current organization? To answer this question, don't give a bad mouth about your previous organization. So if you know some secrets about the company and it's not in the market, then don't tell them about those secrets, because every company has got some bad secrets. They want to find out if you leave their company, will you just spell out their secrets in the public? So you can tell them that you want to excel in your career, and as the previous organization is not the market leader, it is not a good fit for your qualities and qualifications, you want to join a market leader, and this current organization is the market leader, or it's the good fit for your qualifications and experience. That's why to excel in your career you want to leave the previous organization. Another question is, why were you forced to leave your job? Sometimes it happens that we were fired from our jobs. So if we were fired from our previous job, then the interviewers may ask us, why were you fired, or why were you forced to leave your job? So you have to be honest, and if you are fired because of your weaknesses or non-performance, then you should be able to tell your weaknesses or non-performance in such a way that you can tell them it was in the past, and then you have trained yourself to overcome those weaknesses, and now you don't have those weaknesses or problems. So even if you were fired, you can use it to tell them that you are a dedicated person, you have overcome those weaknesses, or you are trying to overcome those weaknesses, and in the future those weaknesses will not appear. But if you are fired because of the company policies or company politics or downsizing, then it becomes a plus point for you. So you have to be you have to be honest in answering this question. Politics or downsizing, golden handshake, if you took the golden handshake, you can tell them about it. Another question is, what are you expecting from this position? Or in a simpler term, what are your job expectations? Again, you have to know about the job description and the company to answer this question correctly. So always go and visit the company website. You should read their financial statements. If it's a public limited company, then their financial statements are available online. So you should do a little research before going to the interview. So if you know about the job description, then you can tell them what are you expecting. So you have to fit the JD with your expectations, what kind of challenges you are expecting to face, what kind of benefits are you expecting to get from the job. For example, what kind of a training you are expecting to get, and what kind of a job environment are you expecting. So you should know about the company and the job description to answer this question correctly. Okay, another question is, in what kind of work environment would you like to work? To answer this question again, you have to know about the work environment of the company. If the work environment of the company is casual, then you should say that I like to work in the casual work environment where people don't work from 9 to 5. For example, if you are going for a web development job, then their job timings are very different from the rest of the world. So you have to tell them about the casual work environment, the timing, or if it's a formal company where people come with ties and suits and they work from 9 to 5, then you should say that you want to work in a formal environment where people work from 9 to 5. So you have to know about the work environment of the company, and you should then relate that work environment to your liking. Another question is, what's your working style? Again, you should know about the working style of the company and specifically of the department in which you are going to join. So depending upon your findings, you can modify your answer according to your knowledge. Another question is, how would your previous boss or co-workers describe you? Again, to answer this question, you have to know about the job description, and once you know what kind of qualities they are looking for in the right candidate, then try to stick those qualities and tell them about some appreciation which you got from your boss or the company related to those qualities. So if it's a sales job and they need an extrovert person with good communication and people skills, then you can say that my boss would say that I am an extrovert person. My communication skills are very good, and he always compliment me because I want to work with people. Even I get an appreciation, an annual appreciation from them. So you have to know about the job description. Another question is, why didn't you work from 2003 to 2004? Let's say that there was a gap in your career and you didn't work for some time. So you have to be prepared to answer that question. You have to give them some genuine reason that why were you not able to work. It should You should present it in such a way that that problem was out of your hand. For example, you were involved in an accident, or you were sick, or you were depressed, but then you went to the doctor or a psychiatrist and now you are 100% okay and it will not happen again. So you have to tell them a good story about the problems which you were facing at that time, and then tell them that you have overcome those problems. Overcoming or solving is very important, right? And you have to tell them that it will not happen again. Another question is, why do you want to change your career paths? Sometimes it happens in life that we want to change our career paths. There may be different reasons to change our career paths, to excel in the career, to get more money or something like it. So you have to be honest, but you should be honest in such a way that it shows a positive change, not the negative one. And for example, if you were a teacher and now you want to go to a professional environment, then you can say that I wanted to get the the book knowledge first, and now I feel confident that I have got all the knowledge to perform in the profession, and now I want to go in the hands-on industry. So something like it, that it gives you an edge. It shows that by changing your career path you are making a positive move. Another question is, how do you handle pressure? So you should be prepared, because every job requires some kind of a handle pressure techniques. So you can search on the internet how do people handle pressure, or you can, if you smoke, then you can say that I smoke a cigarette and then I motivate myself uh, to do the work. And if you work well under pressure, then you should say that I work very well under pressure. I I like to face challenges, and whenever I am under pressure I give more output. So you have to be prepared for this question. Another question is, what kind of salary are you expecting? So you have to do some kind of a research. What other companies are paying for the similar job? What are you getting in your current organization? And what is the salary structure of this organization? And then you can give a round figure, but tell them that it's negotiable, that you are open for negotiations. And you can say that we can always discuss my salary expectations after I'm shortlisted. So you have to know some things to answer this question correctly. Another question is, what are your hobbies, or what do you do in your free time? So try to pick up those hobbies which are closely related to the job description. It will show that your interests are relevant to the requirements of the job. So if it's a sales job, then you can say that here you like to go out and meet with new people and make new friends or something like it. If it's a programming job, then you can say that I want to play video games, or I want to develop video games or something like it. So pick up those hobbies which are related to the current job description. Another question is, which animal would you associate uh, with yourself? So again, it depends upon the job description, the requirements of the job description, uh, and you should be able to identify your qualities, and then you should answer that I associate myself with a rabbit because it's a fast moving creature. It works very fast and etc. Or I associate myself with ant because an ant is a team player and I am a good team player. So you should know what are the requirements of the job and what are your strengths, and then based on those things you should answer your question. Another question is, do you have any questions for us? Always prepare for some questions to ask them, because it gives a positive impression. So but don't ask them that I want to ask when are you going to call me? Am I shortlisted or not? Do not ask these kinds of questions, but you can ask the question related to the job description or the company services or uh, the future career path or something like it. Journal questions, and you should end the interview on the positive note. Guys and girls, I hope that this tutorial will help you and you will able to land on your dream job. Thank you very much for joining me. I will see you in another tutorial. Until then, take care. Bye.